ingrained in my brain, and I never had that whole sit down and talk about what can happen to you with sex, why you should or should not.
First part is there's a gap in between maternal health and child welfare, which is adolescent care. And many people don't really focus on it. They focus on maternal health, which is where the mother is. And from experience working in the grassroots, you find girls that have early onset with sex from an age of 8.
What comes to mind is this interesting example, which I always cite. I don't know if any of us is aware of it, but sometime in 2014, there was this story that went around on pages of social media about a girl who was dating a guy. I mean, they had gotten to a point where I think they were planning their introduction or so. And this girl, when the boyfriend has sex with her, she would access a distant, pharmacy, also because of the stigma attached to it. So there's this pharmacist who always administer postinatal for her. And the day she was supposed to visit the parents of her fiancé, she got there and found out that the owner of the pharmacist was a mother-in-law to be. So when she got into the apartment, the woman just looked at her like, really, is this your fiancé? No way. So that's just to tell you or give you, the scale of the problem when we talk about psychocultural issues, how our values, our beliefs actually impact or even define, how people access some of these services. So, and there was this question that went viral, that if you were the one, what would you do? The woman didn't have any problems administering that until she realized that
she discovered who was
yes, and the son has been the one having sex.
The son has been posting.
So that's an interesting example. So for these products that have this invisible morality tag, I think there is a way, technology would help, bridge some of this gap. And also even speaking about culturally appropriate or targeted information. Look at Facebook, for example. It's easy for you to target people when you want to run a Facebook advert. So ditto for, providing content, but of course it's important that such content is visually appealing, interactive and stimulating for young people. And I always say this, so for example, as an organization, we leverage technology and environmental learning to address, sexual and gender-based violence. And one thing I've seen is that it's really important, for example, that when you're, designing that kind of platform, you engage, the end users as equal partners.
Because I think just as a people, we love ownership.
Yeah.
We want to be a part of what was created for me. So I think just for that fact alone, they came and called us to sit down and have meetings. So my input is inside. I just want it like this. Yes. So we like that kind of a thing. And I think that for us here who are, I think as a people who are culturally grounded, a lot of their re-education has to happen on different levels. Even like these apps and things can help even like the healthcare workers who normally would be eyeing the girl or giving her face or telling her, calling her, where's your mother? Can now think to herself, well, I think it's good that she's buying protection or whatever, so it will help with that. That's very, very cool. That's very cool. Very cool. Very cool. So Rhoda, let me come to you. Let's talk about the private sector. And when it comes to SRHR, I don't just call it SRHR because it's shorter to say that. Yes. So what is the role of the private sector in actualizing this agenda?
How many people? Yeah. But we know how easy it is for the private sector to be able to reach its intended customer. We can use that technical knowledge to actually apply it to SRHR. And that's just one aspect. The private sector can contribute in terms of research, funding research, carrying out research, and ensuring that the needs of young people are actually targeted. I'll give an example. I'm not going to name the brand, but there is a brand that is completely dedicated to providing contraceptives for young people. And they don't just think of one thing and then dish it out. They carry out constant evaluation and redesigning of that product with the input of young people. What works for them? What do they need? How are they evolving? How can we ensure that we are always meeting that need, such that we are not using the same archaic ways to solve 21st century problems. So those products keep on blocking the gaps that exists as generation changes. So that is something that the private sector can keep on doing, and not just in the area of contraceptive, but in the area of providing information, healthcare services, reproductive health for young people in facilities, building facilities that actually respond to young people's needs. Because a lot of our facilities are not made for young people. They are not youth-friendly. You cannot, as a young person, walk into a facility and feel welcome. So being able to contribute to that change is very, very important as well. They can also influence decisions when it comes to how funding is appropriated. Basically, they can contribute to funding for young people. We have a national youth policy. We have a national youth health policy. The private sector can contribute to the achievement of this policy, of the different actions and targets that are included in this policy. I'd like Isaiah to talk more about it because he works directly with the private sector as well. And I think this is a way that we can ensure young people get the information and services that they need. Because it's not just about talking about it. Who is going to pay for this thing? Who is going to ensure that when a young person wants a condom, they are able to get it and afford it whenever they want it? Someone has to pay. A lot of young people don't have the means to actually afford it. They might want to, they might know about it, but where can they get it? That's another problem that the private sector can come in and to build that. And as well, the private sector can play a very, very important role when it comes to digitizing sexual and reproductive health care for young people.